going on, everybody? Welcome back to another juicy episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household. That's what I've decided. It's the household.
I love that.
The household of Allie, Amanda, and Derek. How is everyone doing?
Amazing.
Oh, Derek, look at that enthusiasm. Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I didn't fall asleep until 5:30, so I'm in an interesting state of mind.
Why?
I went to bed at like 10 or 11.
Why were you tossing and turning?
I don't know, man.
Was it like a brain won't turn off? Or like a
was
body
it Raquel?
won't
Was she
sleep?
like making noise in the hallway?
Yeah, she was
Her
fucking Tom Sandoval and
Yeah.
not coming loudly.
That's not.
No, I think I drank an energy drink at like 5. I think that was my problem. Yeah.
Poor decision making.
Well, you were going to an exercise class.
I was going to an exercise class. I got put in the front and center. I had to
You
perform.
had to dominate. When are we going to Soul Cycle together?
You tell me, Nicholas.
No, you tell me. I don't.
It's a showdown. Sunday at 12:45?
I don't want a Sunday. Sunday's my day.
So do you want to
with
take
Nick.
time out of our work day?
You can take time off like Friday. Like do like a Friday afternoon or something.
Let's do a Friday noon in WeHo.
Okay. All right.
Can Derek and I be in the back?
Yeah.
Kind of
Absolutely.
like sitting gently
I
pedaling.
want to like advertise it like a showdown.
Yeah, it's a smackdown.
Well, how are we ranking this?
Should we have Diego pick at the end of the class?
He's gonna pick you.
No, be pretty fair.
I'll take my shirt off.
Yeah, actually, in terms of advantage, Diego ain't straight.
That's true.
Well,
Nick automatically wins.
we have a great episode for you. Kristen Doute is with us today to be the mouthpiece and friend for Ariana, who is really going through it right now. And basically everyone has been like embargoed and can't speak about this topic. But Kristen isn't on the show, even though she apparently filmed a scene with them.
And I think it's important to mention that Ariana wants her to speak on her behalf.
And asked her to film that
Yes.
scene.
Because it would make a lot
This
of
is not
sense.
Kristen, like, taking advantage of a very tragic situation.
Yes.
Like, she's truly going out of her way to be a friend to someone. And as someone, like, who can relate to Kristen in the sense of, like, listen, like, people who go on the show and leave it, you have very complicated feelings because there's a lot of PTSD with these types of things and inserting yourself in this world of a world that you've, probably had to do a lot of healing from. So just very complicated. Anyway, we appreciate Kristen coming on and kind of updating on the most recent things, the rumors, all the things that are being kind of unveiled.
It was so cool getting to talk to her and hear her perspective on this because she's so close with Ariana right now, and she is like right there with her as she is like processing this. She understands like how this truly unfolded, and then also she has insight on like what it was like to date Tom Sandoval, and like she acknowledges the ways that he's changed, and like also really clears the air about the ending of her relationship, beginning of Ariana's. But like she's truly someone who has a unique vantage point for this whole situation. And it was so cool that she was willing to just be so open about it.
Yeah. Well, before we get to Kristen, just a couple quick housekeeping notes. Don't forget that tonight, another amazing episode of Better Date Than Never returns.
Dirty talk.
We're talking dirty talk and dating in the bedroom, so all the weird things that you have said or people have said to you, especially early on in dating. There are some great stories. It's going to be a ton of fun, so be sure to tune in. Go ahead and download the AMP app for free.
And respond to the Wi-Fi Instagram story asking if you have any crazy messages. We will screenshot, keep them completely anonymous.
Absolutely. And if you can't, or if you're not available, because it is live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, all the episodes of Better Date Than Never are available behind Viall Files Plus. In addition to all the episodes of Better Date Than Never, we have a new update special, which includes that amazing update from the caller from the Raven episode about the girl whose friend was cheating on her boyfriend and they're going to take a couples trip together, plus many more great updates, as well as our pop culture roundup that we're doing every week and more. And we will be going back in time and recapping all the episodes of Vanderpump Rules, because while I'm watching this season, I have not seen season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6,
Nor have I.
9,
8.
It's going to be great. So join us. You get a free 7-day trial with Viall Files Plus. Just go to viallfiles.com to subscribe. It's super easy. You can listen to Viall Files Plus the same way you listen to the Viall Files, so you don't have to go to, there's no new login or anything like that. It's super easy and super fun. What else we get into before we talk to Kristen?
Oh, well, we have to hit the Vanessa Hudgens, Austin Butler photos. Have you seen those?
Yeah, this is the
like,
awkward walk by.
Yes.
They both, who ignored each other more?
We have So it's
Who's
important.
Austin with right there?
I think Sharon Stone is.
Is that Sharon Stone?
Yeah.
Go Sharon Stone.
Yeah, that's Sharon
Go
Stone.
off Sharon Stone.
Great.
Yeah.
But like not with
Kaya Gerber.
they're both equally ignoring each other in that shot.
Yeah, they're both like, it's funny because it's like when someone's ignoring a person, they become fascinated and captivated by something small in a way they never have before. You know, like
What do you mean?
like how when I'm trying to ignore someone, I'm like
I'd be like,
oh my God, that painting on this hotel wall that I don't care about, you know, like.
What do you think Vanessa's looking at right there?
phone probably. She's looking
Is it her
down.
phone?
I saw a crazy TikTok though, talking about Vanessa Hudgens and Kaya Gerber. There is this photo of them that just encapsulates their age difference. And I think it's like some red carpet, probably around the High School Musical era. And Kaya Gerber is like shaking Vanessa Hudgens' hand as like a celebrity. And Kaya Gerber looks like an absolute baby. And Vanessa is an adult. It is shocking to say the least.
Yeah, those are the
And then, like, the
those are the
caption-
downfalls of an age difference when you go
But
where were they then?
But it was
the
like-
where were they then is like a real
It's a rabbit hole.
it's a rabbit hole for the old age
But
difference
it was
in a
kind of like
relationship.
you didn't think at this point I'd be capable of swooping in on your man, but I sure did.
That's just a tough look for everybody. Everyone
really
involved.
bad.
Everyone's losing in that photo. You know, I certainly know the feeling. Yeah.
But it's like, well, I feel like it's kind of
Oh boy.
woof, big woof. Is there like, I feel like it's kind of a no-win situation. Like, what's the option? Like, you just kind of say a curt hello. You say you do a nod. Like, how do you?
Or just wave him? I mean, the best, indifference is always the best. So if I'm Vanessa or if I'm Austin, it's just like, hey, how's it going? Congratulations. What a great night. See you later. If you treat them like someone that you were like acquaintances with in high school, that's the best way to do it. Someone that you have every reason to be polite to, but you don't really give a shit about.
Totally.
Hey, how's it going? What a great night. Congrats. By the way, see you later. All right. Like it's just as you just keep on walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about because I feel like there was no way they were going to win with the headlines because I could so see if they do have just like a very normal, pleasant, short conversation, like photos of like Austin Butler, Vanessa Hudgens reconnecting at the Oscar party. It's like,
You can't win. It's either they're dissing each other and they're not making eye contact, or like they're back in love.
if you were Vanessa Hudgens to kind of like rehash the thing that was spiraling about like Vanessa telling Austin he'd be great as Elvis and like her really kind of like encouraging that endeavor that like now that it is paying off,
Sure.
she's no longer there. Like, would you personally, not like a moral, what's the right thing, would you be bitter?
No, I really don't think so. Because listen, like I'm sure she supported him, but like Austin didn't get to where he is now by not putting a shit ton of work in, and he's where he's at because of what he's done. I'm sure she mentioned it and supported it, and I'm sure he's appreciative of it, but like I hope and I doubt that Vanessa is. It's only because of and what is even if she was the reason, does that mean she wants to be with him? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like is Austin supposed to like in every interview like make sure he gives a shout out?
Her.
I don't. It's just listen. She was a supportive girlfriend, as I hope that she was in their relationship. It's just one of those things that happen when you break up.
Yeah.
Totally. On the topic of interviews, one of the things we need to cover in our pop culture roundup is the Hugh Grant.
Oh, I have so much to say about that. What else are we going to be getting into for our pop culture roundup behind Viall Files Plus this Friday?
Yeah, we're going to do a little couple check. Giselle spotted with her trainer again. TJ and Amy are potentially doing a half marathon together. We have a woman who is my personal hero now.
A woman.
Who has, the running apps that like trace your progress on a map. She has been going on routes for her runs that draw dicks. We're going to be doing
the penis route?
Yes, a penis route. Also, Tessa Thompson's never had a hamburger. 2 Tesla drivers accidentally drove off in each other's cars. We got a bunch of different fun, crazy, wacky stuff to cover.
All right. Well, let's get to Kristen. Don't forget, next week we have Rachel Bilson is with us to talk all things, including, I guess, orgasms. So that should be fun. We will be breaking down fantasy suites next week. Do we have a guest yet?
No.
Ooh, well, surprise guest for you next week. It will be juicy. I hear next week's fantasy suite is, I hear it's messy.
Oh.
So
Sex Week inbound.
Sex Weekend is upon us.
Fuck for your life, ladies.
Fuck for your life.
Olympics.
All right. Well, Kristen, everybody.
I'll be honest. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm a bit of a catastrophizer. I will notice like a slight discoloration in the skin on my wrist and be
you
like,
immediately need to go to the doctor.
I have an infection. Something terrible has happened. I will Google things. I will let people on TikTok and Instagram tell me all about my ailments. I should use past tense because now I have an easy way to get it checked by an actual professional who knows what's happening and who can speak to whatever I am concerned about, my hypochondriac issue of the day. And that's because there's ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes it so easy for me to find an provider with availability, someone who takes my insurance, and also someone who I can see reviews from other patients who have been there. I found my dentist on ZocDoc. Shout out Dr. Russell. Like, she's the best.
I mean, listen, if you are a young professional who has left the nest, that's okay. You have ZocDoc. It's a free app. It's super easy. It's convenient. And like Amanda said, they allow you to find doctors, and you could see a doctor within 24 hours. Maybe it's your primary care physician. Maybe it's a dermatologist. Those are always a nightmare to book.
Oh my God.
Always a nightmare. Whatever it is, you get patient reviews for the doctor you're seeing. They will give you doctors who take your insurance and ones that are available, so you do not have to, like, when you want to see a doctor, you need to see a doctor right away. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need, and treat almost every condition under the sun. So if you need peace of mind, go to ZocDoc, and it's super easy, and it's super free, and it's super wonderful. You have no excuses not to try it. So many people have been benefiting from ZocDoc, and you can too. So to get ZocDoc, go to ZocDoc.com/VIALLN. Download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That is ZocDoc.com/VIALL. ZocDoc.com/VIALL. Osea, I can't tell you how amazing Osea is. Also, just so you know, for anyone who cares, my sister Maria is a huge Osea user and fan.
And she's really into like natural stuff, right?
She's holistic nutrition. She's very careful, about what she puts on her body. Osea is the only brand she trusts. So if you are someone who has sensitive skin, who cares very deeply about what they put on their body and what goes into their body, Osea is the brand you can trust. I
feel like Osea is like, when I think of them, I just think of glow, because the ocean cleanser that I use, I love because it just like brightens my skin. It gets rid of like the impurities, the gunk in my pores without like leaving me feeling like stripped. And then also applying moisturizer, their hyaluronic acid serum, or their body products are so lovely. And I always just feel glowing and moisturized. And like Nick's saying, it is such a like clean, pure, healthy feeling of like, and peace of mind, just knowing that it's all natural, good for the environment ingredients.
You're glowing from the inside out. The body butter, the algae body butter. Oh,
yeah, the Undaria oil.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Protect your skin from winter dryness with clean, vegan skincare and body care from Osea.
And right now we have a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code TVF at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. Head to OSEAMalibu.com and use code TVF. That's TVF for 10% off.
Kristen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So glad that you're here.
This is so wild. It's the first time we've ever met.
It is the first time we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I know you.
Likewise.
From TV, but also like, my friends have been guests on this show.
Yeah, we've really, as we've become Vanderpump fans. Well, it's funny because I met, I've known Ariana for a long time because we had a mutual friend. I met her when I first moved to LA.
Is your heart broken?
Oh, I'm so sad for her.
Yeah.
So even after like the episode last night, and the dog.
Oh my God.
And just everything. It's just like.
Yeah, I have some tea about that situation. Not about her dog, but around that time.
Well, let's gossip.
Let's gossip.
Let's get into it.
So word in our friend group is that right after, so this is before I saw tonight's episode. I found this out about a week ago. Word within our friend group is that she, Rachel, who's fraudulent to the core, Raquel.
Yeah, what is up with that? What is the...
Yeah, so Rachel, I'll call her now.
Let's
Raquel,
just call her Rachel.
She and Tom hooked up right after Havasu.
Havasu.
which was where they were on tonight's episode.
So where they're setting it up for a Schwartz and Raquel potential situation, it's
But, like,
actually Sandoval.
Right. I mean, well, none of us knew this until obviously the news broke in the tabloids. Like, I'm shaking thinking about it because when I heard Havasu, I remember, obviously I was not filming the show, but these were still my girlfriends and
Yeah.
I knew what they were doing over the summer. And when someone said Havasu, I immediately thought, wait, wasn't that when she had to put Charlotte down? Like, that takes a real fucking evil type of person to have your partner of almost a decade come home from a trip filming, put her best friend of, I think Charlotte was like 18 years old or something crazy, put her down, and then Raquel gets back from the trip and you guys
she goes
hook
and
up.
fucks him.
Yeah, just like I'm literally shaking thinking
But like
about it.
this episode was also just fascinating. Those little kind of Easter eggs of Rachel, like when they were all sitting down and they were kind of like downloading the previous night, and Raquel wanted everyone to know. She's like, well, Lala liked him too.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted everyone
Yeah.
to know that like I won.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got him. He chose me.
Yes.
He picked me. And anytime she had an opportunity, she wanted people to know that.
And it's the way she acted about Tom Schwartz. And then within her public apology, if you want to call it that, her public acknowledgement she posted on social media, it was like the ending was something along the lines of, Tom and I aren't defining our relationship right now. Girl, sit down. So you won Oliver, like you won. You're still trying to screw up James and his new girlfriend because you want to win him. You want to win Schwartz. You want to win
she wants
everybody.
to collect hearts.
Yeah.
How is Ariana doing?
I mean, she's devastated.
Yeah.
She's humiliated. She was in Mexico over the weekend for a wedding, and I haven't seen her since, but I've talked to her, and she was just like, it was really nice to get away from everything.
Yeah.
She's not quite ready to come back,
Sure.
to real life. But the conversation that we essentially have been having with her is like, she's very nervous and afraid for the first time she's going to have to sit alone with these thoughts and like truly
Work
deal
through 'em.
with
Yeah.
the reality of it all post filming. And I just told her, like, I get it, but you don't have to be right now. There's no timeline.
Yeah.
Don't force yourself. If it takes you a month, if it takes you 3 months, if you need 10 of us over or just one person at your house at all times, that's okay.
Yeah. And I know it's certainly easier said than done.
Mhm.
And I've been on her end before.
Same.
And it's the worst.
With
But-
the same person, unfortunately.
Do you think she knows deep down she has nothing to be humiliated for, in the sense?
Yes, I do think so, but I get it. It's on national television,
for
and
sure.
she's gonna have to talk about it. Like, as you guys and as you know, you film and it doesn't just go away. You're gonna talk about this in press. You're gonna do shoot pickups, your interview bites.
Yeah.
They've picked cameras back up in March over things they filmed last summer. So I think that's the whole humiliation of it all, and not seeing it.
And then these stories, like after Arizona, you
Mhm.
know, to know that Ariana's literally crying over losing her best friend, her dog, and thinking that Tom was there for her,
Mhm.
thinking that Raquel was there for
Yeah.
her. The most frustrating part about this season and watching it is all those little moments where Raquel is always like, oh, like,
You sound just like her.
I'm just like, oh, poor. It's like, oh, fuck you. It's like,
I kept trying to come up with just like a more intricate, proper synonym for just being like, she is so fucking dumb. She's just so dumb. She has no personality. And now in hindsight, I can see why Tom is, I guess, into her, or why they're doing this, because Ariana has a backbone. Raquel does not. Raquel validates everything that Tom needs to be validated. How cool he is, how talented he is, his stupid band and his sequin pants and his nail polish and his dumb haircuts and, you know,
mustache.
The mustache, for fuck's sake, the pedophile mustache.
Is he not bright, Tom?
I mean, right now I have nothing good to say about him.
But
so-
objectively, like I, you know, not that it's an excuse, but like, is he
Right.
just not
I think he's a narcissist, and I think he's just very
self-centered?
self-centered and very selfish. And I don't know. I mean, I was with him for almost 6 years. we should have broken up after year 2. Obviously, we were just young and broke, and it was a relationship of convenience.
And we've all been in those young relationships where you look back and realize, well, I stayed in that too long, but you want to fight for it.
And once Ariana and I became friends and got over that whole hump, many years ago, I worship the ground she walks on for being able to deal with someone so narcissistic and someone is so attention needy and in spotlight thriving.
What is it about Tom? Because you dated him for a long time, Ariana did, and while it's very easy right now for us to bash him and point things out, but clearly there are characteristics he has that attracts people. What is it about Tom, do you think, that has allowed him to kind of get away with this behavior? Even Schwartz, it's just like, I don't know these guys really at all. I've never met them. I only know them from watching them, and I've really only watched this season. And to me, they just seem like just the worst type of guys in the sense that they're what give all guys a bad rap. The Peter Pan syndrome of it all. I've said in previous episodes, they only give a shit about anyone else after all their needs are met, after they're having fun, as long as the vibe's cool, And then when Sheena was just like, hey, we want you to get get the Schwartz back. And he was just like, well, I don't want to hire a prostitute. And I'm thinking, how do you say I've paid for sex without saying I've paid for sex? No one brought that up, Tom.
Nobody asked.
No one asked. And it's just like, these guys are just, they're children.
Yeah.
They're fucking kids.
Jerry O'Connell said that. And I applaud
I saw that.
Jerry
He
O'Connell, looking right into the camera and going,
they're boys.
They're boys.
Yeah.
And there are men out there who will date you.
They're 40.
Yeah. And kind of going
almost 41.
Your question of what is what do you think it is that kind of attracts people, that keeps people there, that balances out allegedly the flaws that are on obvious display?
Yeah.
If you think back to, Katie started dating Schwartz 12 years ago, right? Ariana started dating Tom 10 years ago. I started dating Tom 6 years before that. So at that time, it's charming, it's cute, it's fun, it's light, it's funny.
Yeah.
The problem is they never grew up. So it's that shit doesn't stick anymore. You need to start maturing. And the problem is they just chose to never grow up. Like you were saying, the Peter Pan syndrome. They refuse to go to therapy. They don't want to better themselves. They think that they'll just get away with this forever because there is going to be some dumb fans and younger girls who will fall for it and who will give them the attention that they want, someone like Raquel.
This episode is brought to you by IQBar. Now get 20% off every IQBar product plus free shipping when you text FILES files. That's FILES to 64,000.
And why do I love IQBar so much? It's because it is packed with not just any protein, but plant protein for strong muscles. It has prebiotic fiber for a happy gut, healthy fats for clean, crash-free eating. It is not just the label, it is the ingredients that are behind it. I'm wanting a bar that has natural, healthy, fueling ingredients with some protein, not too much sugar. IQBar is the bomb. The first thing I do when I grab a granola bar, I look at the number of grams of protein, number of grams of sugar. IQBar immediately blows all the other ones out of the water, and it tastes good. I cannot emphasize enough how bad some of these health food bars taste. And IQBar, I really like. They have an almond butter chip flavor. They have a matcha one.
The lemon
really
blueberry
good.
is my fave. That's my go-to.
They have so many different ones. And so whatever your dietary restriction or preferences are, whether learned it's keto, not keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, literally every single one of them.
IQBar is great for the brain. It's formulated with 6 key nutrients shown to support cognitive energy, performance, and health. No more midday slump. IQBar is a delicious, crash-free breakfast or afternoon snack that will help you win your day. Now, get 20% off all IQBar products, plus get free shipping. To get your 20% off, just text FILES, that's files, to 64,000. That's right. Get your discount, and it's real simple. Text files, FILES, to 64,000. That's FILES, files, to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Drizzly is the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes, people.
Under 60 minutes?
Under 60 minutes. So whatever party you're partying at, if you run out of spirits, beer, or liquor, or wine, or whatever it is that you are partying with, just go to the Drizzly app.
And you don't want to wait. You don't want to like have to be like, great, it will be here tomorrow morning.
No one wants to leave. When you were like dominating, whatever game you're playing on game night or cornhole or just having a good conversation with good friends, no one wants to like have to leave the party. Plus, you can send any of your favorite drinks to your friends from across this great land to parties that you are unable to make, so you can still be the considerate, caring friend. It's a great way to give a gift to a friend. It just makes it super easy and super fun. They conveniently shop across stores so you can choose from a huge selection.
One time, this was a few years ago, it was during the pandemic. I was unable to fly home for Thanksgiving, but I still wanted my parents to like feel like I was there. And my mom has this very specific Chardonnay that she loves, and it's kind of like a splurge for her. And so I wanted to make sure that wherever I was ordering it from, it was that specific kind, because I didn't want to get her something she didn't like. And then sure enough, showed up on our doorstep on Thanksgiving, and it was like I was there.
And maybe you're just like, you know what would be really nice? A glass of wine with dinner, but you have no wine at home. And as you're about to like make dinner, go ahead to the Drizzly app and just get a nice bottle of your favorite wine and treat yourself, because you deserve it. So to get the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits, it's Drizzly with delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. Drizzly is the #1 app for alcohol delivery. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com. Drizzly.com. I mean, that's Tom's whole reason for the band, right?
Yeah.
That's his whole reason.
Yes.
It's not to like become a musician.
No.
He's not passionate about playing covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. I mean, it says it right there.
It's for
attention.
And girls who are fans of the show to show up and treat him like a rock star.
Yeah. And I heard, and this is alleged, but I heard, so he had a show 2 days after all of this shit went down, and he actually went and played it, the audacity. And
I saw clips.
Yeah,
and
fine.
Allegedly
who knows, he was probably like on mushrooms and drunk and God knows what else, but went to a bar afterward, got completely smashed, and had sex with some fangirl that night. I don't put anything past him at this point.
Yeah.
It's the only thing he can do to make himself feel better about all of this.
Do you think Ariana is, I mean, it's probably a stupid question, but she must be kind of going back in her head and wondering what else?
Oh, absolutely.
What else is going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
What else have you done?
And I think something I'm very proud of her for, the girls and I have been really cautious of, especially in the beginning. I mean, God, it's only been a couple of weeks, but because she removed herself from social media, right? She didn't want to know a lot of things. However, she did have to film about it. She was going to be hearing rumors or things that were actually true. And it did get to a point after maybe like day 3 or 4. She just said like, I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't need to know another rumor. I don't need to hear about another girl, because what the fuck does it matter at this point?
Good for her, yeah. It doesn't.
And it doesn't.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. Of course she was wondering.
Yeah, it's like
it just
every
all
time
came flooding
then you
back.
get triggered, you'll have a good day and something will come up, or you hear something or you see something. I mean, she's living in their house.
Yeah.
Everything in that house is going to potentially be a trigger, a memory of something he said or did, or a time where it's just like, well, were you there for me or were you fucking someone else?
Well, right.
And it's just like, oh my, and it's just like, I've been there, and it's just like, it ruins you. It's just like consumes your every like ounce of energy.
100%. And when I was over at her house, well, the very first day that I went over there, which was like 2 days after this happened, I said this on my podcast too, not to be repetitive, but like she immediately came up to me, gave me a hug. We both started crying. She's like, I love you. Thank you for being here. And then she said, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, to me.
For what?
Who knows what I have a million ideas I could think of what she was sorry for. Not believing me, dating him she did wait until we were broken up, but I think even entertaining that, always thinking I was the crazy one for saying he was a cheater, probably a multitude of things. But I'm like, girl, you have an adult relationship with this person. This is like a real adult, like essentially married without a certificate. I was like in a joke of a relationship. So like, don't even go there in your mind. But of course she's going to go back and think, was that true? Was that true? how many times. And then I think also one of the worst things is when they had to have their first conversation, and I believe this part, I'm pretty sure it was filmed, he was just gaslighting her. There was no genuine apology. He was saying how she never supports him. She doesn't validate him.
This was after
she found out. And
he was telling her all the reasons why it was her fault.
Exactly.
Fucking
Which
piece of shit.
That is Tom to a
But
T.
we're not surprised.
Not at all. But for her, it was like, of course it made her mad, but then when I filmed with her, she started crying and she's like holding up her phone going, so my relationship, he's saying our relationship was that of like convenience and contentment or something, not love and romance.
Yours and his.
No, hers. Like she said Tom said this about she and Tom. And she immediately is just flooding tears looking at her phone going, so all of these memories, all of these wonderful trips we took, all of these videos I have, all these kissing photos, this was all bullshit?
Oh, he's the worst.
He sucks.
He's the worst.
He needs to flee the country, but I don't know what country would want him right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Italy.
Italy doesn't deserve it.
No country.
No one. Where do we put
Tasmania?
Him? What about a boat? We just send him off.
We all have made mistakes in life.
Absolutely.
We've all have been selfish at times. We have done things that hurt people we love at times. He has such an opportunity here to do the right thing, to really fall on the sword. I saw a clip. I don't know if it had something to do with this season or past seasons, but something like, I don't need therapy to know I fucked up or whatever. It's like, no, Tom, you need therapy to not make sure you continue this pattern of destruction. You have a trail of destruction. There are people lined up out the door.
Of that.
Of people you have hurt and scarred, people you have left with PTSD, people that after you leave and, they're still hurting. They still, like years later, I'm sure, after you and Tom broke up, there were maybe a year later, you got triggered by something he did that
absolutely.
Ruined your fucking day or affected you in another relationship. And
yeah, I mean,
how we handle that,
when Tom
people.
and I broke up is when I started going to therapy, and I've now, my longest relationship is with my therapist.
Good for you.
We've been together 8.5 years, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because I know you didn't watch Vanderpump, but it's like, I definitely was not perfect, and I did some really shitty
watching it and recapping.
I did. Please just don't. But I did some really shitty things. I slept with someone when I was dating Tom, who was my best friend's ex-boyfriend, and I played the victim game and said, why is everyone mad at me? Poor Kristen, because I was not grown up enough. And I was choosing that.
Yeah.
And this is what I think needs to happen to him. If he even, I don't know if he has an opportunity for a comeback at this point, but the only way would be to truly humble himself, to lose everything, and to really do the self-work. And maybe in a couple of years, people will give him a shot again. Yeah, that's how long it took me. No one talked to me for 1.5 years.
He'll only give a shit in terms of a comeback.
Right.
As opposed to
wanting to be a good person.
Wanting to be a good fucking person and looking in the mirror and saying, I've hurt people.
Yeah, I don't think he has that in him.
I've ruined people's lives. I have racked up thousands of dollars of therapy bills for other people.
Mm-hmm. That's such a good point.
Insurance companies should,
I should
really be chasing him down.
No request.
I'm going to send him a PayPal request, itemized.
Super bill.
Maybe State Farm will hire Tom as
a special investigator.
Oh my God.
He's chaos. What's that fucking
mayhem?
He's mayhem.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my
Tom's
God.
fucking mayhem.
Model mayhem.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
I know you also mentioned in your podcast that in the days after, when you and all of your other kind of close friends were showing up for Ariana, that Tom just kind of walked in the door without any warning. And I was wondering if you could speak to
he
where
just doesn't care still. He just doesn't care.
So what is he doing now? With how are they handling shared space?
Do they have boundaries set up or anything like that? Because certainly he owns the home, but is he leveraging that as, well, it's mine and fuck you and I don't care and you can't tell me not to go?
That's exactly what he's doing.
What a piece of shit.
Which is just wild to me. And we tried having a mutual friend, one of Ariana's college best friends, rather than someone very too close to them that would not be able to they would have a hot head, right? So we chose her friend Meredith and all of us sitting around, okay, we're like composing this text in the most mature way that we can and not leading with emotions, right? Like letting cooler heads prevail and just saying, listen, dude, you got to at least give her a couple hours heads up when you need to come home to pick things up. You need to let this rest for at least a few weeks. Allow her to grieve. Allow her to heal. And of course, his response is, it's my fucking house. I own half of it. I will come and go as I please. And if she has a problem with it, she can leave. So I then took it upon myself, because what I had to explain to everybody who has not been in a relationship with him is, at this point, it is not how we get what we want. It's just getting what we want. I sent him a text saying, like, I know you really care about her. You know, I know you're probably sorry. So if you could just think about that. And, you know, I know you want her to heal. But it was the same fucking response. So he is coming and going as he pleases. So she just won't be home alone. Because that's what she's the most afraid of, is being home and having alone and then having him walk in.
So she is now not only going through this trauma and this heartbreak, but she currently feels unsafe in her own home.
Exactly.
He's the worst.
You would think like nobody could ever be worse than like Jax Taylor on that show, or like me back in the day.
Jax
like this
Taylor's
just takes the cake.
Only person I've ever denied taking a picture with.
That's amazing.
He got really pissed at me. It was when I was The Bachelor. We were at some nightclub, and like his, I think now wife,
Brittany,
she seemed really sweet, and she asked to take a picture, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then like Jack's like, let's all take a picture, and I just didn't know it. I only heard terrible things about him, and I was like, my season was airing, and I was like, I don't need to be like seen with Jax Taylor at
as
a club.
If you're like best friends,
as if
with
we're
him.
friends.
Yeah,
and I was like, nah, I'm good. And he was so pissed. Anyway, sidetracked. But anything else that you could shed the light? Do you think Tom Schwartz knew? He's denying it, that he ever knew. No, I saw the clip of him getting off the airport and being interviewed at TMZ, and even just like, it's just like, there's something about their energy. It's just so non-fucking chalant. Yeah. It's just so like,
to an offensive degree. Like, it is offensive like, hey, man, for you to be cheery in this situation.
He's just like, oh, just got off a plane. First of all, when I fly, I'm just naturally in a bad mood. By the time I get to LAX, I'm just like, I just want to get the fuck home. And he's just like, hey man, what's going on? Let's go, come to my bar.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate him. But do you think he must have known?
Yeah. So what we're being told by Schwartz is that he found out a month before, and that Tom Sandoval told his mother in December, and then told Schwartz about a month ago. So
what does Schwartz have to say for himself as to why he chose to keep Sandoval's secret? Because
what Schwartz told me is that he said that he was really pushing Tom to just be honest with Ariana off camera, so that obviously it would have to get talked about anyway, on or off camera, but to not let this completely humiliate her and blow up in their face by coming out. I believe that he feels that way, but Schwartz doesn't act on anything. He's a pussy. I love him to death, but like, man the fuck up.
He has no
This
backbone.
Is your opportunity to really man up. And this is your business partner, right? And it is your best friend. And I'm not saying you have to loathe him the way that we all do. But I'll tell you right fucking now, if this were one of my girl best friends pulling this, we would be having like serious conversations and space.
Accountability.
I'm so tired. Like, I've said this before countless times, but like, friends don't protect your secrets, they protect your character. Mm-hmm. And too many people, especially young people, but these guys aren't fucking young, think being a friend is protecting someone's secret and bonding over keeping each other's secrets and shit like that. And being a good friend is sometimes sitting them down and being like, I want to believe this isn't you. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop this, do the right thing, and I'll be here for you. But like,
and now that now that we're talking about it and I'm thinking back, I do think he knew. I don't think he knew the whole time, but I do think he knew longer than what he's copping to, because there was a period of time over the fall that there's this girl, Jo, that's been mentioned, Lord, who Schwartz is sort of dating. He says they're not. She says that's her boyfriend. She lives with him sometimes. I don't fucking know. She was my best.
What's going on now?
She's been mentioned on the show. She was my best friend for 8 years, like my everyday best friend for 8 years. And I haven't spoken to her since July because of all of this. Over the fall, there were so many times where Schwartz, Girl Joe, Sandoval, and Raquel, the four of them, were hanging out nonstop. I just assumed it was because Schwartz and Joe are seeing each other or sleeping together and nobody wants to be a part of that. So like she befriended Raquel, he has Tom, they only have these two people. But now, again, seeing it through this completely different lens, I'm like, no, the four of you are going on fucking double dates.
Yeah.
Like he had to have known, I don't think, again, the whole time, because now we're hearing about the whole Coachella thing. Everyone said it was Schwartz and Raquel making out, and it was Sandoval and Raquel.
And it's like,
that was almost a year ago.
Guys fucking, and especially guys like them, they fucking love to brag about their conquests.
Mm-hmm.
They love to. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. That's the thing. Sandoval has to have validation. He cannot keep anything he does a secret because he needs at least one person to validate and hear him bragging about it.
Yeah.
And that person is Schwartz.
There's just no way Schwartz didn't know.
Yeah. Can we go through like the timeline of things in terms of like when do we have a kind of specific start date or like when there's the first incident that's known?
I love a good timeline.
Not really. I mean, now we know about the Coachella thing. I don't know if it continued from that point on. Then, you know, the talk in our friend group is right after Havasu. So this was in the summer. This is definitely before Sheena's wedding. Sheena's wedding was in August. So it was at least in the summertime.
Wow.
And then
because they hooked up at Sheena's wedding, right?
Schwartz and Raquel kissed at Sheena's wedding.
Schwartz and Raquel kissed at Sheena's wedding?
Yeah.
What?
Which is that. So that's why I'm like, Schwartz, there's no way Schwartz could have known back then.
So
that would be
Sandoval
really
and
weird.
Raquel kissed at Coachella.
Yes.
And then they hooked up after she got back from Havasu.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made out with Schwartz at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like the Bachelorette, and Tom's are her final two. She keeps switching.
Which is just two validation monsters.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm thinking Schwartz probably didn't know over the summer while they were filming. I'm guessing like early fall or something is what it sounds like.
Now,
if I had to guess.
we saw Rachel, whatever, apology. And I will say, you know, I don't know who wrote it, you know, but I thought it was a fairly solid apology.
She didn't write it.
And
one of her PRs, the first one or the second one that she
It
fired.
was the one
her
referencing like her need for validation and trying to do the work. I thought it was,
that is a crisis PR apology if I have ever heard one.
And they deserve a raise. It was good.
Nevertheless, I read this and I think to myself, okay, we all make mistakes, but if you actually follow through on what you say, you know, maybe she's going into therapy and she's trying to figure out why she's making these types of choices. I'm like, all right, you know, maybe you can learn from this. Do you think, from what you know about Raquel, do you think she is actually sorry for what she did? Do you think she really thinks and recognizes how bad it is? And do you think she's willing to do the work to make the appropriate changes?
No. I think she's
Why?
sorry she got caught. I think she's sorry that she's getting a bunch of negative attention because she also ended that apology with not labeling her relationship with Tom right now.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking crazy? Like,
Why are you?
Read the room.
Yes.
Social
We don't
cues,
care.
Raquel.
Yeah.
Like, just leave that part out. What is fucking wrong with you? And now, how convenient that she gets this ridiculous temporary restraining order against Sheena.
That's such bullshit.
That is granted only until the hearing on March 29th, right? But they have to film the reunion on March 23rd. How convenient that Raquel now does not have to sit under those hot lights and be in the hot
So she won't
seat.
be at the reunion.
I mean, I
Unless-
don't know what they're going to do unless they move the reunion, which as far as I know, they haven't planned on that. Sheena can't even be on a Zoom with her, according to said temporary restraining order. So I just think it's really fucking convenient, and I think it's Raquel's way of getting out of it.
Do you know what happened with Sheena and Raquel?
Sheena didn't hit her. And I also saw like the photos and all of that. So first of all, if you go back to any of Raquel's like old photos, like she even has like, I think TikToks where she goes from like no glam to glam. She always has, she's like these little beauty marks under her eye, and one of her eyes is a lot darker underneath normally. Then there was like this scratch and like supposedly some bruising. But then like the next photo looked like she took red lip liner and drew a line. Then, like the next day, so this is her apology comes out and she says, I'm going home, or I've left LA to be with my family. Well, then she's caught by paparazzi walking around West Hollywood, and strangely enough, she has no marks on her face. That healed up quickly.
So you think she's faking it and
Yeah.
playing the victim?
Yeah. I mean, I know Sheena like was pissed off, but like, number one, it's Sheena. Like, she weighs like $105. Her nails are longer than her fingers. Like, Sheena cannot punch someone, no matter how mad she is. It's just bullshit. Like, did Sheena probably like push her? And maybe I don't know, maybe she scratched her with her nail. I don't know.
On accident or something?
Yeah, but it's Sheena. I'm sorry.
But even still, like, yeah, it's like, Raquel, you're
And
so
also,
focused on
if
being
she
the victim.
did, I applaud her if she did. But I mean, I got backhanded by Stassi, well deserved. Did you see me pressing charges? Like, grow up.
Yeah, literally.
She didn't
just
break your bones.
Focus
like,
on
oh,
taking
God.
accountability rather than. But we saw it in this past episode, like Raquel's ability to play the victim. She was when she was crying in the fucking car, and she was talking about, the girl, the other women were kind of being like, "Hey, like, you do this shit."
And that it was so hard for me watching that because I've never been a fan of Raquel, obviously, but I do have sympathy and I have empathy and I am a human being and I'm really, really fucking sensitive. So it was like, if I hadn't known everything I know now, that probably really would have tugged at my heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, and it clearly
it's not an easy group to be in, and if you, it definitely, and you don't necessarily vibe with everybody, that can be really difficult. But then it's like you have all that, but then what does she do? Fucking Charlie, sit the fuck down.
she sucks.
She fucking sucks.
She
Sit
sucks.
Instigator extraordinaire.
That was a
And
this was
then
a bad,
all of a sudden,
this is a
Raquel
bad-
has this attitude again.
He chose me.
Yeah, like where'd that humble panic attack crying?
I don't know who I am.
So now I just I don't even know who to believe at all. But then after all this comes out, Charlie's on Twitter just dragging Raquel's sister. So I'm like, pick a fucking lane.
Charlie just wants to make headlines.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
wants to be somebody.
Yeah.
And like Raquel, definitely, she faked the blackout. She faked not remembering
Yeah.
what she did that night, but she conveniently kind of remembered.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember like what I said. It's like,
I know that
she
I said
felt
something to
embarrassed. She
you.
clearly heard them. You saw her being self-conscious, hearing the women talk about her, and so she chose to like blame it on the alcohol and not remember. But she clearly fucking remembered.
Absolutely.
And
I've had many a blackouts during Vanderpump Rules filming, and really I'm like, oh shit, like, or brownout. There was definitely an hour I don't remember, and I really don't want to hear about it because I don't know if I was super fun or super toxic. But when she, like you just said, she conveniently remembers. I think I said something to you, Lala, that offended you. You were not.
How do you
blacked
remember
out.
all of those details, but not? You know what I mean? Usually
Yeah,
it's just wait, what happened?
She fucking remembers, and like what she said. Those what do they say? Sober, like drunk words,
Or sober thoughts.
or some shit.
Oh yeah.
When Lala was like, "I wouldn't trust you with alcohol." That was like Raquel being like, "Yeah, because I'll
take your
I will
van.
take them, and I will feel good about myself when I do."
God.
When she was sitting down, like Lala liked her too. Liked him too. Like everyone needed to fucking know that.
Well,
Yeah.
And also when she brought it up, I think it was when she was leaving, when they said they packed up their bags, and she was saying, I think the only reason you have an issue with it is because like I got Oliver and you didn't. And I'm like, you are glossing over everything else that just happened.
Yeah.
And just like trying to end on this note of, well, I got the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a drunken makeout on a dance floor.
It's like, and then the whole part where she threw, obviously all the Randall shit in Lala's face. And I wish Lala would have, I was totally on Lala's side. Because I'm watching it, and what I've actually really enjoyed about this season is, the Lalas and the Katies of the world. You have these women who, have made mistakes, and you're seeing like growth. It's just like, we had the pleasure of interviewing Lala here, really enjoyed it. And she's like owns her shit. And she's like, I'm working on myself. I'm working fucking hard. This isn't easy. I feel embarrassed at times. I'm regretful for what I did. And when Raquel tried to throw that in her face, I wish Lala would have just said, yeah, exactly. I fucked up. I'm literally trying to help you not make the same mistakes I did. And instead, Raquel's like trying to throw it in her fucking face.
Right.
And
She's
trigger
an
her
asshole.
and like use, it's just
no,
like.
Lala totally is like, she reminds me of like Eminem in like the very last battle in 8 Mile, you know, where Lala's like, here, I'll tell you all the shit that is up with me. Now come for me. I own it all. I say it all.
Yeah.
These are the mistakes I've made. This is how I've grown. You know, because Lala, that's what, oh God, like I love her to pieces. She's one of my best friends, but she
keeps it real.
She does keep it real.
Yeah.
Like Raquel, just sit the fuck down.
What did you guys think about, though, the fact, I mean, we watched the episode yesterday, but it was just, it felt like we had what happened in Vegas. Obviously that was bad. We rehashed it the next morning, whether or not Raquel actually remembered it. We have the car situation where it felt like we kind of like evened things out. We talked about it. We moved on. We get to Havasu. And then Charlie joins and you think the trip's off to a better start or there's new fresh energy. And then we go to dinner. And I will say, like, as someone who also loves Lala, it just felt like suddenly now that we had Charlie as an audience, we're rehashing everything that we've already discussed.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, okay, but
what's
like,
the point?
Yeah, I was like, but we've addressed this. And while I don't agree with Raquel's actions, like continuing to just go and go and go. And I get it's a show and I get we're keeping it dramatic, but
being the show.
I mean,
and having to retalk scenes.
It could be producers, you know, saying now that Charlie's here, but it's so redundant and it gets so old.
I was like, we all just watched this. We watched it happen the first time. We don't need to watch it again. We watched the rehash, and now this is the third time that we're talking about it.
Why do you think? I mean, I get, you know, bachelor people hook up with each other. You know, there's familiarity in the kind of extreme environment. Like no one can relate to these experiences.
That's
so
why
it's
I'm
just
friends
nice.
with so many bachelor people because I'm like,
you're just like, hey, you fucked up too? Yeah.
We get what we go through. Yeah.
But why do you think it's like fairly incestuous with the Vanderpump?
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you when I was on the show, it's because we really did work together at this restaurant.
Sure.
And we really were best friends. I mean, that's why we got the show to begin with.
You guys, you're younger.
But it was
so
like,
much younger too.
That's who we hung out with. So, I mean, I think anyone that works in a restaurant can attest
You're fucking
to that,
each other.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you don't really go out at night because, or you go out right after work with the people you work with.
Yeah, or you do industry nights on Mondays. So
exactly.
So,
so like that was back then. But now I don't get it.
It must be just, I think Tom, I mean, Raquel's not a victim at all, but I do think Tom preyed on Raquel's vulnerability in a sense. Or do you think that's being too generous for Raquel?
I think it's being too generous. I think they're both so equally to blame. Yeah.
Toxic.
I do. Okay, maybe I blame Tom a little bit more just for Ariana's sake because
he's in the relationship.
Exactly. And like I even remember saying this when they started dating and people would, once I calmed down and everyone would say like, oh, she stole your man. You can't steal a man. Okay. He made a free-willed choice to do what he did. Like he owed Ariana the world and he is the one who cheated. So I do place a little more blame on him. However, Raquel's claiming to be Ariana's best friend. You know, she let Raquel sleep in her home, like stay there for a while.
She's like her big sister.
Yeah, they had Thanksgiving together. You're swimming in her pool, eating her food. Ariana's being nothing but hospitable to you. And this is how you return the favors. So it's like, I think they're both pretty equally to blame. I don't think Raquel was like taken advantage of. Like she's not 21.
How do you think the show will handle this? Like, will they get fired? Do you think? Do you think they'll be like, well, actually, the show's been
I don't see
super
Raquel
talked
coming
about?
back. Like, I don't necessarily know. Well, let me tell you, they don't fire anyone. They just don't ask you back for another season.
Gotcha. But yeah, it would be hard to imagine them.
I don't see her coming back because
like, is anyone?
I think she's
going to
be terrified.
Yeah.
She's also maybe going to have more restraining orders.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That will never work out. Like the judge, I hope when they have this stupid hearing, the judge just goes, #Team Ariana and like
wears a #Team Ariana t-shirt. That would be incredible. Jerry O'Connell comes out in a robe. That would be amazing. Have you seen Raquel at all at the old apartment, Allie?
Been pretty locked up. Been pretty quiet.
You haven't
on our
seen
hallway.
Tom. We're wondering if Tom's
Has
like
Tom showed up
there.
at all?
Tom was there the night that there was producers in the hallway.
I know they filmed last Monday at her apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same day you were talking about.
It was a Saturday night, like 2 Saturdays ago. That they were
Monday,
there.
But maybe
they were at
was
night.
Because there were tabloids saying that they kissed on camera.
Ew.
And we found this out. Ariana and I found this out. So I filmed with her on Tuesday, and right after we were done and the crew leaves, there's already shit online from whatever tabloid saying they kissed in the apartment. And we're like, okay, now this has to be a production leak.
Right.
Because there is no one else that would know that. And it's not, we're like, would Tom's camp come out with it? No way, no way.
There's no way to even
I may or
see
may
that.
not have
like, I
tricked
know which
a
direction
producer
her
into
apartment, there's
admitting
no
they
way.
did kiss.
Okay.
So
that's significant.
What's that?
I said I may or may not have, like, because I can say this stuff. Oh, I love not being on that show. I tricked someone in production to admitting that they did kiss on camera.
How'd you do that?
I called one person in production, Ariana and I, and we were like, just tell us. And I can't confirm or deny. Okay, well, there was no one else in there, and this is already out, blah, blah, blah. Then another person in production that we were waiting for a phone call from, I said, we just talked to so-and-so, and at this point, like, this has to be a production leak, right? Like, why is this shit coming out before we even know about it? And he was like, you're right. This has to be a production leak because there was no one else there.
Yeah.
And we're like, we fucking got it. Yes. So you guys give these public apologies and then you kiss on camera?
Yeah.
Gross.
And then that same day, like minutes later, Sandoval sends Ariana like this page-long text of the first basically apologizing, and she literally looks at her phone and hands it to me, and she goes, I don't even want to read it. And I'm just like, the timeline of this.
He texted her an apology?
Yeah, it was like a really long, blah, blah.
That's another inconvenient thing.
But
You're going to make me read your apology via fucking text? Fuck you.
Right.
He texted her an apology?
Yeah.
Why don't you just leave her a voicemail?
Or like, you're clearly showing up at her home all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Do you know if Raquel and Ariana have spoken at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Ariana doesn't, like, I think the network had asked production at one point in the last few weeks if Ariana would film with her. And I know production really had her back and just said, we're not even going to ask her that. It's not happening.
yeah.
They'll like at the reunion, she'll have to see her. That's going to be bad enough. But no, they definitely haven't spoken or seen each other, and Ariana wants like nothing to do with her right now.
Might we see you back on the show? There's been a lot of rumors about
just the one scene.
Just the one scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but no,
I don't want to be a part of anything that has Vanderpump attached to it. I'm good on that.
You've outgrown them.
I have outgrown.
Graduated.
Yeah, okay. I still have my friends, but that's a toxic environment that I will gain nothing from. Nor do I want to bring my boyfriend into that. And just, I like my bubble.
Yeah.
Exactly the way it is.
Back to Tom a little bit. Do you think...
Which one?
Sandoval.
Okay.
Like, does he stand for anything? Does he... How would you describe... I mean, that's a stupid question, but is it like, does he have any like core beliefs? Does he have any like redeeming qualities other than he just is a guy who... He just seems like you're just average dude who just needed...
The thing is, it's like, again, trying to like take this lens off of what we know now. He has always been so kind and very giving and very generous. And I don't just mean like monetarily, like financially. Like he's kind of like the dude me, where it's like, I'm the mom when we travel. Like I have like, what do you need? Do you need gum? This, da-da-da. Like I pack it all. Like that's very Tom, as people have seen in seasons past. And I've never really thought he did it for the validation or for the attention. Like he just has always kind of been that person. But now I don't know, because now is it because he wants everyone to know how great he is?
Yeah. I mean, so it also could be both.
Or maybe it's both. Yeah.
Could be
totally.
both. Of course he has nice qualities.
Right. I know he's always said, and I've agreed with, like, it brings him joy to make, oh God, it's weird to say this, to make other people's life easier, which is clearly not what we're seeing now.
That's the thing. I don't think he gives really a shit about other people. I do think it's just, again, it comes down to, people like Tom. or the Toms, from what I can gather, but specifically Sandoval.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people like that, especially in LA. It's like, as long as it doesn't inconvenience them,
Correct.
you know, like, and so every time they're doing all these things, it's mutually beneficial, right? It's mutually beneficial to look out for others and make sure everyone's having a fun time, because everyone's like, oh, you know, Tom, you're the best, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's so easy to be around.
And he does put all of those things above like his responsibilities.
Yeah.
He never has been. I mean, when I was with him, I would open up like 3 years worth of mail and like, dude, your car's getting towed for the third time. Like, he just doesn't like pay attention to responsibility, and he never has.
And it seems like he has people who bail him out. Like, when I heard someone in his family gave him $250,000.
His mom.
It's just like, how can you take that money for a business like owning a bar, which is
right,
a volatile business, and then not put your entire
and then go off with your band,
heart and soul, go off with your band, just not be like, not work morning, noon, night, through the night to make sure that.
And that was really like, as Schwartz's friend, you know, something about Schwartz, like Schwartz really has thrown himself into that bar, and he admits that probably played a part in, you know, the demise of his relationship with Katie, because Schwartz is like, fuck, I'm broke now. Like, I've given like all my money, my time, everything into this bar, while Sandoval is like booking his national tour with his cover band,
paying people to play with him.
He pays them to practice. He pays that. Yeah. There was a rumor going around that he hooked up with this girl that, not the girl that's in the band now, but there was like another girl before that they ended up, I don't know if she quit or got fired, but we started hearing that they hooked up before. This is all obviously allegedly, but all of this stuff is just coming out of the woodwork, like one by one by one.
There is zero chance he hasn't slept with multiple.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. And it kind of is because, you know, we ask ourselves, well, why Raquel? Like, aren't there plenty of other people to hook up with, not Raquel? It's like, yeah, there are. And he's also hooking up with them too. He must be.
Right.
And Raquel is just the consistent person he has because she's always around.
And they're filming
she's always
together.
there, and they're filming and
going on trips and living in the same neighborhood.
On the topic of Tom Schwartz and Katie, like, was that something where it seemed like maybe it was a long time coming? There'd be been these concerns of hers that were never addressed by him.
Right.
Was the news of the relationship being finalized, the divorce, like, happening, a surprise to you, or kind of how did you process or make sense of that?
I mean, I knew about it obviously like far before it became public. And I know, I mean, she did tell me before she actually filed for divorce, like, it was something that she brought to his attention. And there were just so many chances given. Like, she begged for them to go to therapy. You know, she said, let's do it separately and together. She did her end of the bargain. She started going to therapy. He never did. So she just got to a point where she was like, I can't keep living the rest of my life this way. Yeah, like, I'm not getting any younger, and I really want to be happy, and I don't want to be miserable, and I don't want to have all these feelings being internalized and shoved down that I'm now kind of exploding on other people. And, you know, she was just really unhappy, and it had a lot to do with Tom not coming home at night. Like, again, back to the Peter Pan syndrome thing, it would be like, Schwartz is, you're married, dude. Like, not to say you can't ever crash at your boy's house, but like, you call your wife and say, hey, Tom and I are kind of going out late. Is it okay with you if I sleep here tonight? But no, it would just like, he just doesn't come home. And then he wakes up hungover at 2:00 the next day, and Katie's like, where the fuck are you? Like, we are married. We want to have a family. Like, where's your responsibility?
And even if you trust your partner, like, that's just a red flag.
Yeah, and it wasn't
just not coming home.
Even the trust thing. It was more just like, where do I fall in line of like
your priorities?
What's your priorities? What's like super important to you?
I mean, that scene, was it the other week or the week before, where they're sitting at the bar and he brings up he starts he confronts Katie. He brings it up, the conversation. And meanwhile, then she opens up, she's venting, she's clearly like been triggered by him. And he's just out there like, hey man, what's up?
Yeah,
shaking hands, and then
like
calls
not
her
listening
selfish.
To her. Yeah.
Calls her selfish because she didn't let Tom be, the Tom guy.
As he's literally like shaking hands with someone in front of her face like this.
There's no prioritizing their marriage. So
do you think Sheena and Katie can come together. I'm watching this and I know Katie a little bit.
Yeah.
I know Sheena a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm friends with both of them.
And I'm just like, and
I think if they both apologize to each other, I think that they can hash it out.
And I feel like deep down I'm watching them and it seems like two people who maybe are just too hurt or too stubborn or a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
And too unwilling to be vulnerable to just say, I don't want to be fighting with you. I would rather be friends with you. Can we be friends? Because it just, they both seem like they have hurt and instead of, and then, they're, and
they don't have to be best friends and hang out every day, but there is so much love there and so much history. Yeah. And I think it's that Katie feels very betrayed by Sheena. And I think Sheena feels like Katie's just mean to her all the time. And I just think if at the reunion, they can both absolutely humble themselves without the like, I'm sorry, but you did, da-da-da-da-da. If it can't be that way. It has to truly just be like, I'm sorry. This is what I recognize I did to hurt you, and leave it at that. And they both can do that. I think they
couldn't agree more. I really hope at the reunion, there, with all the drama that is certainly going to be there, there's a bit of like a reunion of those two. Because like, let's just come together.
Are they on like speaking terms right now? Like in terms of, I'm sure so many people are just like showing up for Ariana. So are there people making sure that they're never overlapping in terms of like being in the same room?
It seems like, if nothing
they've
else,
been in the same room, but I think they just kind of
they're putting their differences aside for Ariana almost.
Yeah, but they're not like, calling each other. They're not super chummy. Like we have a group chat that's called like the Maddox support chat. So it's like and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's like mostly like the girls and our gays, right? And it's just like we also have like a spreadsheet that's like, okay, so here's whatever, March 13th, March 14th, here are all the times, here are all the people, here's Ariana's schedule, who's going at what time, what did she eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not even kidding. Just making sure she's constantly covered.
Taking care of herself.
Katie and Sheena are both in that group chat. They were both at Lala's daughter Ocean's birthday party. They can be in the same room, but they're not talking right now.
Okay. I hope.
But I have high hopes
too.
I
hope.
Because it sucks for us as someone who's both of their friends.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sheena knows, like, I don't want to hear you talk shit about Katie. Like, I spend more time with Sheena, but Katie and I live in the same building, and I still love Katie. We don't hang out quite as often, but it's just like, I don't want to hear either of you talking shit. Like, save it for someone else.
Yeah, and there was a scene from this episode where Sheena's talking to Brock, and she's like, I'd rather just be here instead of hanging out with the girls. And it was, you could tell she just wanted to hang out with the girls, and understandably so. And it's like,
but it's hard to admit
it's
that.
Hard to admit it. And she won, and I really
out.
felt for Sheena there. And it's just like, I don't, and she's friends with Tom. I don't fault Sheena for, it's like,
No, I mean, I'm
being one of the
friends
guys
with
or
Tom
whatever,
and Katie
like,
was
and
fine
that's
with
okay.
that.
Like, as a guy, I've had a lot of women friends, and I love having women platonic friends.
Totally.
And so like, there's nothing wrong with her supporting Tom, but I can totally get where Katie's coming from, and it's like, it seems like unnecessarily messy.
But also, and back to just what we said earlier about Schwartz just manning up to be Ariana's friend right now. It doesn't mean you're not Tom's friend.
Well, that's a great question. Is Tom trying to be there for Ariana?
No, like she doesn't even want to talk to him right now. But like now, think back to when Tom and Katie got married. Ariana was a groomsman. She was on Tom's side of the wedding party. Schwartz's. Like, dude, you had her as a part of your wedding party. She went on your bachelor party, and you don't even have it in you to say, you know what, Sandoval, like, of course I love you. You're my boy. I'm not dropping you like a fucking fly. However, I don't agree with this. You fucked up, and she is my friend. And Yeah.
And even though Ariana doesn't necessarily want or ready for your apology, like that you haven't like fallen on the sword and said, whenever you're ready, I know I don't deserve your time or consideration, but like, I definitely have not been a good friend to you. And I hope that I have a chance to make that right by you. Like,
and he has that opportunity at the reunion, but who
gives a shit about the reunion, right? Like,
I mean, I'm just saying that's when they're going to be in the same room together.
Sure.
He has this opportunity to say these things, and I don't think it's good. I think it's going to be the wishy-washy Schwartz that we always see.
It's like, it's just like I try.
It's
No eye
it's just,
contact.
it's the way the cookie crumbles,
It's just like life's hard, but half off drinks,
Yeah.
It's really hard for everybody involved, man.
Yeah, everyone's involved.
My heart
It's
goes
like-
out to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
On the exact opposite end of the energy spectrum, like with Lisa, how do you think, like, do you have any insight in terms of like how Lisa's handling this,
'cause
and
she
based on
seems like almost motherly with the Toms and like close with the Toms, at least
I
this
think it's all
season.
an act.
You think it's? Have you?
But
have
she
you talked to her
FaceTimed
at all?
Ariana after the dog
and
passed.
Ariana's been to her house. I mean, Ariana has said that Lisa's like welcomed her with open arms. Like, you can come bring your dog and your cat. You can come stay at Villa Rosa. And Ariana's like, shit, do I do that?
It's
That
lovely.
sounds fabulous.
She should
Go to Beverly
go.
Park and
Yes.
enjoy myself. So, it's just the Lisa that I see on the show. It's just a chess player. I don't have very many kind things to say about her. I don't know why she's so obsessed with me.
How she's obsessed?
It's like I filmed that scene because Ariana specifically said, I really need you to do this for me. I told her I have nothing to gain from this. I, in fact, will probably look like an opportunist or thirsty.
But Ariana asked you.
And I specifically said to her, like, this has nothing to do with the network, the production, the ratings, the whatever. What do you need? Because you've also now had to talk about this a million times with so many different people on and off camera. So if this is just one more time you don't want to do that, like, I don't need to do it. And she wanted me to. So I did. And then the very next day on Watch What Happens Live, Lisa Vanderpump's on. And just for no reason, like, has to throw shade at me. So
What'd she say?
It was like something, I can't remember the question, along the lines of like, now that everything is out in the clear and Kristen was obviously called crazy. And now can you do you see Kristen in a different light now? And she was like, let me think about it. No. I'm like, okay, bye, bitch.
do you have any, like, in terms of like not even like kind of subjective ways you feel about her, but just like interactions that you've had with her that you feel like kind of demonstrate a side of Lisa that's not always depicted on the show? Because she seems like this like loving maternal goddess on the show.
Yeah, I think it's not like that at all. I think there are some people, especially the girls, that she does really care for and love. And like I said, Ariana did tell me all of this off camera, like in all truth, that Lisa's really reached out to her and with like a lot of heartfelt words. And so that I appreciate, because she needs all the love and support she can get, whether it's from someone I don't like or not. But I just think that's a character she plays, like this, like the mother hen. She did it in beginning seasons too. Like, oh, here, are you counting your tips? Like, lady, you're never in here. You come in like once a week and, drink rosé. Like, just, no, I don't know. I'm probably just the really wrong person to ask.
I mean, yeah, it would be upsetting. Yeah, we've all been there,
Mhm.
especially like I've been there, and I'm guilty too. But like, you get asked the question, and you say something, and someone talks about, what the fuck am I talking about me for? You know, it's just like, yeah.
But so I'll say she's been very kind to Ariana, in checking up on her and stuff, having nothing to do with filming. So,
well, Kristen, this has been great. Are you ready for some texting office hours, and then we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts?
absolutely.
All right. How's it going?
Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm 26 years old, and I'm considering firing my maid of honor.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us what is going on with your maid of honor and why you're thinking of firing her.
So I asked her to be my maid of honor a few months ago, and ever since then, she has canceled every plan we have made, whether it be FaceTime, in person, anything, at the last minute.
All of them.
All of them.
Have you confronted her at all about why she is doing this, or even if she wants to be your maid of honor? Also, I'm asking you multiple questions. I hate that I do that. But also, when you first asked her, was there like...
What was her response?
Was
she
her
excited?
response? And did you talk about like what you want as a maid of honor? Like, what was that vibe when you first asked?
So it was a dinner where I asked several girls at once, so also my bridesmaids, and she started bawling. She was so happy. She made this long Instagram post about how thankful she is and how one of the best decisions she's ever made was being friends with me, yada, yada, yada. She almost didn't even come to that dinner because she wasn't feeling well, quote unquote. And then ever since then, we haven't talked about it because she has an excuse for every occasion to speak.
How long ago was this?
Less than a month.
Okay. So
About
still pretty
3
fresh.
weeks.
Yeah, and we have some
Yes.
text messages. It seems like starting because it says just got home, so it like seems like starting around
Yes.
that
And,
initial.
and when are
dinner.
you getting married, Elizabeth?
I'm getting married next May.
Okay.
So I've over a year.
Okay. All right. So there's
Which
time to
is
find
not,
it.
I just as someone who's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride, it's actually not that, you say it's like, oh, we have a year. It goes by really fast when you're planning a wedding.
It does.
Yeah.
I have so many feelings
All right,
about
Kristen,
this
should we
already.
do a dramatic reading? If you
Sure.
would, please.
I just went through this not that long ago with one of my best friends who got married and one of her bridesmaids that I was a
Interesting.
bridesmaid in the
Okay.
wedding. So.
All right. I'll be the shitty maid of honor. Are you ready?
Mhm.
I just got home. Thank you for the most special day. Cry emojis.
doe-eyed?
Doe-eyed. I'm so grateful for you and to call you my friend. Through every up and down, you've never left my side. I love you forever, my girl, and will absolutely be there on your big day.
Thank you so much for coming. It meant the world. I know you weren't feeling your best, so you showing up with no clue what was going to happen means the world. My sweet maid of honor. Adorable emojis follow.
So then that was on Saturday, February 25th. This is
Okay.
Tuesday, February 28th.
Hi, I can't wait for Thursday. How are you feeling?
Much later that night.
Oh my God. Like
Like 11 hours.
11 hours
Yeah,
later.
so 10 a.m. was the first. It was the hey. The response 9:12 p.m.
Hello.
Hello.
She says hello.
Hello.
Hello. You say hi. She goes, hello. I've realized I'm an idiot. Fair. I leave for Arizona on Thursday. Wink
Winky
emoji.
face.
Not Friday. LOL. We could do breakfast on Thursday? Question mark, exclamation point.
This is a new interaction. We're back on Wednesday,
So,
March 1st.
Did you not respond to that?
I did respond. I think I said something like, yes, that works great.
And this is like
And then she
Tuesday
ended up
late
canceling.
night.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then
So
next,
this is like the start of the next flake.
and then next Wednesday
Yes.
was
Which
story
is
of,
the next day.
yeah, story of my life, but
Winky
fucking
face.
I will swear to but fucking will I swear to God. But fucking will I swear
Oh,
to
that,
God.
yeah.
But fucking.
But she literally writes
She says,
but
fucking.
fucking will I swear to God.
Story of my life, but fucking.
Also, story of my life, but fucking.
So she's busy.
So she's busy.
She's busy.
Also, no worries at all. Seriously, all good. Let's do when I get back to Arizona on Sunday night. Are you free the 6th, Monday? We can plan. But seriously, call me whenever. I'll be working remote in Arizona all day Friday, so please call. Is that okay?
Let's definitely wait until you're back. I'm in class Monday and Tuesday, so how about Wednesday? And call Friday.
Friday, March 3rd rolls around.
That's the next morning. Yay. Call me whenever you're free. Heart eye emojis. Oh, duh. I'm an hour early. Don't mind me. So you
Perfect.
guys are in different time zones.
Perfect. You said anytime before 1 your time, right? My day has been insane since 6 a.m.
Oh my God. Yes. We can do closer to 1. Just let me know if that works. That's so annoying.
That day at 12:13.
Okay, so I'm unwell today. Is there any way that we can break things down for me, what you're looking to discuss? Then we can do something next week and go in depth. I just want to give this time and I'm unwell, LOL. Why does she
Yeah.
keep
Yeah,
LOLing?
and she's clearly unwell.
Also, you just want to talk, like you just literally want to connect for the first
This
time.
is your best friend, and you can't just jump on a quick call, but you can spend a million hours sending these dumb text messages.
And now she's asking for notes as to why she should make time or something? I don't know.
And then, oh my God, yes, of course. I get it. Haha. So nice of you. I know you're super busy, so just let me know when you have time to get together. I have another friend who wants to grab dinner, but you're my priority, so I haven't given her a day yet.
Truly a moment, hee hee. What does that even mean? But I'm good.
In all caps.
Does she do drugs?
No,
Just
not at all.
finished all my
No.
job interviews, so now I'm waiting to see. Me and consulting firm aren't really working, so I've been looking around, but I'm free tomorrow for lunch and then Friday. I head to Arizona for a bit, so if that doesn't work, go to din with her sister. I don't mind at all.
Okay, and then this is so that was on
Looks like we made dinner
Friday.
plans or lunch plans.
Mhm.
following Wednesday of the following week.
That's perfect.
Let's go to this place.
Let's go to this place. Does that work?
That's perfect.
Fab. I'll meet you there
Thursday.
Oh no.
next Thursday.
God.
So I woke up sick again. More emoji faces. And I need to take it easy because I leave tomorrow.
So she's still going on the trip, but she's too sick for lunch.
Yeah.
And she needs to take it easy.
Yeah.
I'm like tired. That's what she's saying. I'm tired.
I don't feel like leaving.
doing this. I need
Yeah.
to rest up for my weekend.
Yeah.
But while I'm in Phoenix, this will be a chill trip. So we can FaceTime during the day.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's awful. And yes, I would love that. I can FaceTime today, tomorrow, or Friday, literally whenever you want.
It's the season, man. I hate it, but okay, perf. I fly out to Phoenix tomorrow. What about Sunday or Monday, Tuesday? Does she have allergies? Maybe seasonal allergies are like a thing, you know, maybe.
No,
No. Okay.
no allergies.
Sunday works best. Can do Monday or Tuesday during the day if something comes up.
This works. Sunday evening may be the best one.
Yay, can't wait.
And then yesterday,
Was that text message? Because it says on our end yesterday, was that Sunday, the day of, or Saturday?
It was Sunday.
Okay, so
Okay.
you
Sunday
send your
morning,
message
day of.
on Sunday.
I can't wait to FaceTime. What time works for you? I can do any time after 6 my time.
hello again.
At 6 p.m. on the dot.
So I was unaware that brunch was an all-day thing with a big group of girls in daylight savings. What is your schedule this week like? I'll be working from home, so I'm free whenever. So she canceled on you again.
And also Arizona
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
have
what I read
daylight
in.
savings.
Oh.
Just saying.
Arizona doesn't have daylight
No,
savings.
they don't.
know that.
Yeah.
Get him, Kristen. Kristen will be your maid of honor.
Kristen, you have thoughts.
Absolutely.
Why don't you lead this off?
Yeah. So it's bringing a lot of memories back. As I said, I had one of my best friends who got married last year and lives in Colorado, but came to California to have kind of the same thing, like have a dinner to ask us all to be a part of her wedding. And there was one specific bridesmaid who like wasn't going to come, and then she was going to come, and she was like going through something. She ended up showing up to said dinner, and then after that was just flake, did not come or to do anything, barely responded to texts. She was always busy. She was always going through something. And I finally told my girlfriend, I think you need to, like, she's clearly going to wait till the last minute. And you're already, like, your feelings are already hurt. It's not even about necessarily, like, you need someone to fill in for her or whatever. Or maybe it is. I'm not a bride. But she's not even sort of putting you first. Not even, and this is just like next level bullshit. So if I were you, yes, I would fire your maid of honor. I absolutely would say, listen, I'm going to make this just easier for the both of us. And it really pains me because, you know, you've been my best friend and I would love nothing more than for you to be by my side. But if you aren't, it's not, she can't, it's, she's not willing to put in any effort. She can spend all this time composing these ridiculous text messages and you literally can't get on a phone call for 5 seconds.
Do you think there's any value in, like, before we get to that point, like sending, not like a warning, but just like, hey, this is what I'm observing?
But I think
If this
no more
is-
texting though. It has to be a
Yeah.
phone call. There has to be a FaceTime or a phone call. Yeah, yes, of course, you know, and I don't know your friendship, but it just sounds like she's not really giving a shit about your needs, and you're not some bridezilla, clearly. You've done nothing but say, any time will work, any day. I will put all of my shit aside for you. And it should really be the other way around.
Just question, why did you pick her as your maid of honor?
We've been friends for a very long time, and we've always been super close, even when we were living in different cities, and our friendship has been very consistent, and we're very similar in a lot of ways, and I just trust her judgment on a lot of things, or I did.
So
Yeah.
if sorry to interrupt you, but you said she's very consistent.
Yeah.
Is this very out of character for her then?
When she's in a
Like being
relationship, it's not out of character.
Is she in a relationship now?
Oh, she's on Boyfriend Island.
Yes.
Okay.
And in the past, she has apologized to me before, and then she was single for a really long time. And I'm always the friend who's going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because
Mhm.
in the past, I've been dropped by friendships from friends when I've done similar things. So I'm never going to be the one to call out or like end a friendship over a relationship.
You're
that they're in.
empathetic to it.
So
You're a great friend.
Yes.
and we don't need to end this friendship. Because, like, listen, being a maid of honor is a responsibility that maybe a lot of people don't realize when they say yes to it. You know,
Correct.
I think obviously, you know, for a lot of people, getting married, it's a first time experience, right? And then, you know, planning a wedding is a first time experience, and then like picking a bridesmaid and being a bridesmaid. And like, I don't think people realize all that goes into it. So it's kind of like, you know, great friends don't always make great roommates.
Totally.
You know, great friends don't always make great, you know,
Business
bridesmaids
partners.
or business partners, right?
I
And
agree.
so
Yeah, this doesn't mean the end of the friendship.
this is to save the friendship. Yeah, I think you get her on the phone, FaceTime at least. If ideally in person, but if that's not
Geographically difficult.
feasible, I just say, hey, listen, like we've had a really hard time connecting, and I'm thinking like I love you and I love our friendship and I value our friendship so much. I don't want my wedding to be a reason that creates conflict, but at the same time, I want to enjoy this experience. I want to enjoy my wedding. I want to enjoy planning my wedding. And so far, I haven't enjoyed it at all because I've just been stressed out and how like much you haven't really made this a priority. And I just think maybe like, why don't
sort of giving her the out
Giving
too,
her the
and
out.
saying
Yeah.
like, if you like what you were just saying, Nick, but like to attest to that, like it is, you know, explaining to her, I understand this is a lot and it is a responsibility, and if it isn't something that you feel you can take on right now, just please let me know and I will give you the grace as well, and sort of say. That's okay then.
Yeah, we're
but just
good.
be honest with me.
You
You know,
be
if you're
my maid.
afraid to tell me
Yeah.
because you're scared, I'd rather just do this now so we can still be friends, and you can still be at my bachelorette party if you want to.
Right.
Like
you could still be
you
in
can
my
still
wedding
be a
party
part
if
of
you want.
bridesmaid.
It could be a bridesmaid, but like
Yeah.
I'm and you could say I'm just, and where I think you'd be honest with her is I'm already starting to get really upset and angry, and I just don't want to feel any hostility towards you. And if you're just like, if you have other things going on, that's totally okay. But like, I do want to enjoy this experience, and I'm worried that if you remain my bridesmaid, it's gonna cause some problems between us. And I, for the sake of the friendship, maybe we just, you know, don't.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think saying like, it seems like you feel overwhelmed. And also it seems like she feels really guilty. Like she knows she's fucking up. So she's spending all this
Right.
time like being like, oh, this is exactly what happened. You know?
Haha, tee-hee.
And I think like, you know, emphasizing from the lens of instead of being like, you're being really selfish, even though that would be a fair and one way to describe it, like coming from that lens of like, it seems like this is making you feel guilty and like you're overwhelmed and like you're just,
And
you
you're
don't
afraid
have the
to
bandwidth.
let me know.
And I
that-
totally understand how
Right.
much, you know, that this is a lot of work or effort, and it's totally okay with me if this is not
Yeah.
what you can do right now.
And I think giving people an opportunity to like have a clean slate of like, you don't have to keep playing catch up. Like you flaked on a lot of calls, but like this conversation is a clean slate where I'm just going to say from the information I have, it seems like this is too much of a responsibility for you. And I don't want to put you in a position where we're not like set up to be successful and like love each other
Yeah.
and have a good friendship.
And you
Yeah,
can say like, I've talked to other people who've gotten married before, and I've gotten some great advice. I'm having this conversation with you and making a decision because I love you and I love our friendship. And other people have said like, you know, part of picking a bridesmaid is someone who's like, is willing and wanting and able to, and like it's totally okay if you're not. Like you don't need to be my bridesmaid to be my best friend, but I do need my bridesmaid to help me plan a wedding
And to be available
and be available
and like show
and
up.
reliable.
And I
Yeah.
guarantee once this conversation is had and you guys can hash that out, and I feel like it's going to be such a huge weight lifted off of both of your chests that I feel like she's probably not going to be so dodgy and flaky anymore.
You know, being asked to be the maid of honor is like, I won. Like I won the friendship lottery. It's like, it feels good.
Yeah,
and you
for
say yes
sure.
because of all those things. But when you get down to brass taxes, like a lot of people don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
a bridesmaid or a maid of honor because it does require
right.
work.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And
I
I,
was in-
guess
I-
it's
yeah.
frustrating because my sister is my matron of honor and she's going to be taking on the bulk of the help.
Right.
And so my friend doesn't
What's the
even
difference?
know
The matron of it,
what's-
she's married. Her sister's
married
married.
and not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And her best friend's
And
not married.
so it's not even, it wouldn't be a lot of work. Let's put it that way. My sister is stepping up to the plate and doing 99% of the things that both would normally do.
Interesting. So you
Well, it's
basically
like-
have two maid of honors. And so
Right.
it's not even just all on her shoulders.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the
But I
sisters
think-
like,
No, not
but
at
I
all.
think
Very little.
within the conversation that you do have with her, hopefully, like we said, FaceTime, So you can really, it just texting is so difficult because I call it textlation, where it's like you're
reading your feelings.
Yeah, like you don't really know. Yeah, you're reading your own feelings. Yeah. But I think that is also something you can bring up and say, if this is something, if it's just that you're afraid of the workload, my sister's going to take most of that on. But still I think giving her that out, still saying, like what Nick said, just no matter what, our friendship means the most to me, not you being my maid of honor. It would mean the world to me, but it is very okay if not.
I kind of don't even think we go. I think you try to get her to want to quit by graciously trying to fire her, essentially. And you have your sister, which is great.
Yeah, not convincing her that like it'll be easier.
Yeah, because I think she'll want to be like, oh yeah, no, right, it's not that much, but yeah, I want to do this. Your gut tells you she's not going to be there for you. That's why you're calling in. Like, you've had plenty of examples. You have a history with her that when she isn't a boyfriend, she goes to boyfriend island. And deep down, this is going to be a constant with her. And I think deep down, you've probably have already regretted asking her, realizing, the history. So your gut's telling you to fire her. And I think you should just follow your gut by saying it in a way that makes her feel like she should quit. And it's for the sake of the friendship. And she can be a maid of a bridesmaid. It's all good. You love her, but like you're doing this for her because like it's too much and you just don't want any friction. And shower her with the love and blah blah blah. Let's have a girls' night. But like, I don't want to fight with you over this type of thing. Yeah. And so I'm just gonna have my sister kind of.
It can be the weight lifted off both of your chests. Totally. Like, oh, I'm so it is a little unfortunate that you have to be the bigger person in this. But you do clearly through these text messages. You know.
I agree. I just don't know how I can even get her on the phone.
I think okay.
So mentally, we fired her. So not like
we,
like you don't have to stress about that. So I think you text her and say, hey, and don't say, would love to talk. Let me know when you're free to FaceTime.
Or
she's kind of tried that though, like 85 times.
What about the pitch of like calling and then when she doesn't answer and then text, hey, what's up? Be like, hey, have something I would like to discuss on the phone. So that way it's like, this is a phone call thing. Yeah.
And make it less about like, hey, I want to talk about the planning. Like to have like a different, it's just like.
Just be like, hey, there's some stuff that's come up. I want to talk through.
I just need to talk to you.
Yeah, I just need to talk, or there's some stuff that come up, but have kind
it doesn't
of
have to be
cryptic,
like, we need to talk about the wedding. It's no like, emojis. No, I just need you right now. I just need to talk to you about something.
Yes.
Or FaceTime her out of the blue.
I can do that.
Yeah. And lead with love.
Always.
Let's say
I can do that.
She like just very quickly to troubleshoot. Like, let's say she were to be like, you're right, I fucked up. I'm so sorry. Like XYZ, like this is a real like come to Jesus moment where I like, it is so important for me to prioritize you. I know that I haven't been doing that. I have a plan to do it further. How do we feel about that?
I mean, I would say, be like, are you sure? Because again, I just don't want to keep getting frustrated with you over this. So like, are you sure? Because if you are saying this, like, again, it's my wedding.
Right.
It's like this is the time you have to be, you get to be selfish. Yes. It's your day. And it's just like, and it's not you being a bridezilla. It's just like, I just want to enjoy it. So like, I would just, if I were you, I would really challenge, are you sure? Again,
I agree.
I don't not want you to be I asked you for a reason, but at the same time, like,
because it is such an honor to be asked to be a part of someone's wedding. It's not just like, oh, I get to wear the dress and, oh, I'm cool. Look, she chose me. It's like, you want me to stand by your side for the biggest day of your life. That is such an honor to be asked that. And obviously I'm assuming she does feel honored that way. But yeah, again, to troubleshoot if she does go down that path of, oh no, I really do though. I agree with Nick. I think mentally your gut and your intuition are telling you the way that it's going to go.
Important question. Given that you already have a matron of honor in your sister and she's doing the heavy lifting, do you plan on replacing said friend? Or are we just going to have the matron of honor? I'm thinking we just have
Does your
sister...
husband to be have two best men?
He has one.
Okay.
So.
I'm thinking we just have sister and then maybe divvy up some responsibilities with some of the more reliable bridesmaids. And that way you can say to the friend, I'm not even replacing you. Like, you were the only person I asked to be my maid of honor, and that's not going to change. But I just don't want to worry about counting on you for this stuff because it's going to stress me out and then it's going to cause friction between us. And like, let's just not. I love you so much and this friendship's so important to me that I would rather just like not feel frustrated with you all the time because clearly you have other things going on and I just want to enjoy planning my wedding.
That's a really good point.
The
Yeah, saying I'm not
programs
looking to
will all
replace
line
you.
up better. You're not gonna have to fight of who signs the certificate. It'll be clean.
Right. I think that makes sense because also if you ask a friend who's a bridesmaid to be your maid of honor after the fact, I feel like that's a slight insult.
Yeah, I think
Why
just
didn't you ask
leaving
me
it
in
with
the
your
first place?
sister is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I agree.
Tell us
Oh,
how it
it's stressful.
goes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We definitely need an
I wish
update.
Oh, I
we could
need
be
to
on
know.
the FaceTime
Yeah.
with you.
And
I
like,
wish we could just be in the
And
background.
like all the ways that you've been communicating with
Me
her are
too.
just like so kind and accommodating. And like, I just want to emphasize that you really do deserve to feel like supported and loved and cared for throughout this incredibly exciting and awesome like chapter of your life. And I know it's like a hard, uncomfortable conversation, but like everything you've communicated so far is evidence that you'll do it with like grace and kindness.
Yes.
And like this friendship will come out the other side stronger.
And if she gets upset and wants to come on here and mediate this fight with us, we are well happy.
We're here.
We're here for you.
You guys better
Um,
text me because I am like fully invested in
Yeah.
this now. Like
But-
DM me, like
Thank
tell
you
me
so much.
everything. I'm so invested.
Definitely keep us posted. We wish we could be there.
Thank you. I'll definitely write back in
All
and
right.
DM y'all.
Good luck. Take
Yay.
care. Kristen, thank you so much for coming. This has been so much fun, and thanks for all the insight. Just kind of any final thoughts on this whole experience, and also what would you say to anyone listening who wants to in some way support Ariana? Like how can we all Vanderpump Nation, show our love and support for Ariana, directly or indirectly?
I think what we're really trying to do right now is because, or if you don't know, a lot of people know she and Katie are opening their own restaurant, their own sandwich shop.
That's right. Yes.
So we made merch for that. Like it's selling like wildfire and it's not going in Katie and Ariana's like pocket. This is going to the restaurant. So I think what I'm trying to let her realize is that she now gets to have her own projects to throw herself into that will be so positive, like boosting her self-confidence, her self-esteem. And she no longer has this dude riding her coattails. She wrote that cocktail book. That was her thing. And he jumped right in it and made it all about him. And she doesn't have to do that anymore. So I think really it's not about bad-mouthing Schwartz and Sandy's or bad-mouthing Tom. Do
Leave
the
that to us,
opposite.
yeah.
Just like support something about her, their sandwich shop, and
is
any
is there a
endeavors.
website or merch that
know.
where we can go to?
Yes. They have an Instagram account. I think it's just at something about her.
Something about her
Okay.
Instagram. Okay.
And
go
we
to-
post about it all the time, like on our stories.
Go
We've
and
all
follow
bought
something about
sweatshirts.
her Instagram and buy some merch. Oh, by the way, it was just want to talk shit about Tom one more time. But I saw a clip. I don't know where it was from, but it was a clip of Tom and Ariana, and Tom was telling Ariana that he was certain she had multiple orgasms, and she was like, no. And he was like, I'm pretty sure you did. And just like, for any guys listening out there, like, you don't know.
Right.
Like, and if a woman's telling you she didn't, she fucking didn't.
Right. And that's something I need to debunk is
What
like
the fuck
everyone's
is that?
saying that like Tom's like this super sexual person and Ariana's just not. And that's not true. Like she's a very in tune with her body and her mind and her sexuality. And she's very publicly open about being bisexual and really loving men and women. And she's like so sexual. The haters or the trolls out there that are saying like, well, I mean, they never had sex. Like, no wonder he fled and just
fuck
kind of
that.
bullshit like that. It's so unfair.
And also, if you're a guy who's going to argue with someone you're having sex with about the orgasm that they claimed didn't have, all you are exposing is how many other women you haven't. Please, how many other women have clearly faked an orgasm with you? Because listen, like orgasms can be tough to have, and like it's okay in a relationship where it doesn't happen. And like
She's definitely not the only one who's
if
faked an
you're-
orgasm
if-
with Tom
yeah.
Sandoval.
it's like you should be in a relationship where your girlfriend or fiance or wife can say, yeah, I didn't this time, and then you could say, oh, what could we do, because
Yeah.
maybe it's not from sex or whatever. But I saw that clip and I'm like, no one's orgasmed with you.
Your path of destruction.
Yeah.
I mean, he just doesn't get it.
No.
He can't possibly comprehend that. Like he probably
That
thinks
he's
that
not
everyone
the king
has
of the world. Yeah.
multiple orgasms with him. Like, no, Tom, they're probably just watching porn and saying, I'm coming
Yeah,
as soon as they,
exactly.
because they don't know better.
And also just to be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say enough of bad things about him.
Yeah. We could go on and on.
Once again, Kristen. Oh, please. Also, what are you doing? Your podcast. Please plug away.
Yes. I have a podcast that is sometimes co-hosted by my boyfriend, Luke, and it's called Sex, Love, and What Else Matters. It's really, really brand new. And I just want to say I love and thank everybody, especially for listening to the last episode, because I'm so new in the pod world as being a host, but we flew up the charts on that one. It really blew my mind.
Yeah.
So
Congrats.
I'm trying to just hope to keep the momentum up. And I did say this on my podcast, but just to repeat, you guys, I am not banking on her heartbreak. This was something she asked me to do. She was like, go talk about it. Be my mouthpiece. She's told all of the girls and I that. I'm just the only one who's legally allowed to.
And you're being a great friend in
Yeah.
a time where she needs them.
Yeah.
So, well, good for you. And it's nice to see you doing well.
Thank you.
And thriving in life. And like I said, it's
there's more projects coming up I can't talk about yet, but I'm making my comeback, I feel like, after 3 years.
Well, that's awesome. And we all have made mistakes in life, and just what we don't see in Tom, it's just all we can do is grow and be better for it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
having
guys
me.
for listening. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com. Don't forget, tonight we have another episode of Better Date Than Never, and we're talking
Dirty talk.
dirty talk. So the comments are going to be popping off of all the weird shit we have said or people have said to us while dating, and it's just basically, it's a sex show. We just talk sex.
Yeah, that's that salacious
much
stuff that
fun.
you're too
It's so
scared
much
to
fun.
bring up with a new friend because you're I don't want to feel like a creep. This is an unabashed zone. It's all on the table. We get loose. It's silly. We have fun.
If you aren't available at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, don't worry. All the episodes of Better Date Than Never are available behind Viall Files Plus, where we are going to be recapping all the episodes of Vanderpump. Sorry. It's just, we will do it with grace.
I mean, okay.
It's going to be great.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
People change.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll recap my season on Andy's season. That also terrible.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Great.
But you know what? I will say, throughout all the crap I went through on Vanderpump Rules, that was my platform to write my book. And people, I unfortunately did not get to do a book tour because it was during COVID when my book came out, and then I was let go from the show, and it was just the perfect shitstorm. But books live forever, and I'm now getting so many people going, he's making you crazy. Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Because now they're seeing, obviously, I don't name names in my book, but it's very clear what you've seen on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my book is available on Amazon, and please go read all the chapters, and now you're going to believe me.
There you go. Go buy that
There's
book.
my validation.
A Trail of Destruction by Tom Sandoval.
That'll be his memoir.
No, his memoir will be why I'm the victim.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
I made you come.
It's
Poor-
Ariana's
poor
fault.
me.
Yeah. No.
I made you
I
come.
Made You Come by Tom Sandoval.
Oh my God.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.